Um, so again, this was before the pandemic hit in 2020, 2019. Between 2007, 2017, again, this is before the pandemic, 10 to 20-year-olds, the risk rose to 56. And this, of course, is concerning. The ages are dropping of when suicide is an ideation for kids. 5 to 11 is almost doubled. So one of the things that the pandemic brought us was something called a situational crisis. And this could also be like a family's going fine and a loved one gets in a motorcycle accident and they're fighting for their life in the hospital, or someone gets laid off, or it's something that you're not expecting, like a tsunami is about to hit 2 days from now. And what happens with this happens is people get overwhelmed and overloaded. The family is thrown into a state of crisis or unbalance. And coping mechanisms, if we knew that this crisis was coming, because it's so quick and it's so onset, coping mechanisms shut down. So people go to unhealthy coping mechanisms, like they definitely go spend hours on their phone. Uh, they go out drinking or using drugs because right now they're just in a state of overwhelm. This is something that happens a lot. But here's the positive side. Clients are more open to change than ever. Have you ever worked with someone who is an alcoholic and they hit bottom, where everything that their coping mechanisms that they use forever, people stop enabling them. They start to get older. Their their body's starting to shut down. So they're like in a crisis mode. And so crisis theory says that they want action therapy. They want something the here and now, and they don't want you to mess around. They want it brief and strategic because they're in pain. The last thing they want you to do is say, how do you feel? Which you do for empathic and joining. But at the end of the day, they'll say to you, now what? And this model is a very action-oriented model in the here and now, and you'll see that. It gets right quickly to the roots. People want to know that when they are feeling suicidal or depressed or anxious, they want to know what is the root cause of this. And we use the term undercurrents, but you can use the word root. And they want a clear, and I emphasize written, not verbal, plan of action to get them unstuck. I used to, in mental health work, I didn't know how to get to the root in a way that wasn't scary for them. And then if I did, I would give them verbal things. I wouldn't do dress rehearsals. I would say, here's what you should do. And without the dress rehearsals and the written plan, they would oftentimes come back and blame themselves and say, this isn't working, Scott. And it was oftentimes these written plans were a key element, and also the why. They want to know, when you give them a plan, how is it connected to our higher calling?